Hello there, and welcome to Sleepy Science Stories, where we slow the world down and look a little closer at the quiet wonders around us. Tonight, we're drifting into the mysterious world of cat creatures who share our homes, yet remain finely tuned hunters shaped by instincts far older than civilization itself. They hear sounds we never notice, sense changes we barely feel, and move through the night with a confidence that feels almost otherworldly. So how can something so familiar still feel so unknowable? As the day gently fades away, we'll explore the hidden science behind these remarkable companions, and by the end of this journey, you may find yourself seeing cats in a completely new light. Now there's nothing you need to do but relax and let the story begin. Allow your breathing to slow just a little. Let the weight of the day begin to loosen its grip. As your eyes grow heavy, we'll gently turn our attention to these remarkable creatures and explore their story together. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing you need to do. Our journey begins here. Long before cats were ever thought of as companions, humans began storing food for the future. Harvested grain filled quiet storehouses, and with it came mice, drawn by easy abundance. This simple change reshaped the landscape. Wild cats that dared to linger near early settlements discovered a steady source of prey, while people gained an unexpected protector of their food. The cats that could tolerate human presence thrived, eating well and raising their young in safer spaces. Over time, the boldest hunters remained nearby, while others stayed at a distance. This was not domestication by force, but a gradual partnership built on survival and choice. Even now, that ancient balance remains visible in the way cats decide when to approach us, when to withdraw, and how they maintain a quiet connection to the wild while sharing our homes. A cat's purr can travel through the body, even while you sleep. If you've ever felt it beneath your hand or against your chest, you know it's more than a sound. It's a gentle vibration, steady and alive, like a small engine humming softly beneath the surface. Those vibrations move through fabric, skin, and bone, turning the body into a calm echo chamber. For cats, purring appears in moments of comfort and closeness, but also during stress, acting as a soothing rhythm of their own. Kittens purr as they nurse, and mothers respond in kind, forming a quiet system of reassurance in the dark. Many people describe the sensation as deeply calming, as if the space around them has settled into stillness. In a world filled with sharp and sudden noise, a purr remains continuous, intimate, and surprisingly powerful. Cats see far better than humans in low light, though not in complete darkness. At night, a cat can seem almost otherworldly, gliding through dim hallways as if guided by an unseen glow. But this ability isn't magic, and it isn't true night vision. It's an eye designed for twilight. Cats are most active at dawn and dusk, when prey stirs and light is scarce. Their eyes are built to gather even the smallest traces of illumination, turning moonlight or streetlight into something usable. In total darkness, they rely on other senses, especially sound and touch. Yet introduce even a faint glow, a nightlight, a passing car, a thin crescent moon, and their surroundings become clear once more. To a cat, darkness isn't empty. It has shape, depth, and texture.
A cat's whiskers function as finely tuned touch sensors, especially in tight or unfamiliar spaces. They aren't simply long hairs, but specialized tools rooted deep beneath the skin and connected to sensitive nerves. These nerves detect subtle changes in air movement and contact, helping cats understand their environment without needing to see it. When approaching a narrow gap, whiskers help determine whether the body can pass through, acting like built-in measuring guides. They also assist in mapping nearby objects, sensing the edges of furniture, doorways, or even a moving hand in low light. You may notice whiskers pushing forward when curiosity takes over, or pulling back when uncertainty appears. This sensitivity allows cats to move with remarkable confidence and grace. And because whiskers carry so much information, touching them roughly can feel overwhelming. To a cat, whiskers are not decoration, they are awareness itself. Cats communicate through scent, using invisible chemical signals that quietly shape their social world. These messages, known as pheromones, carry information that we cannot see or hear, yet they speak clearly to other cats. A slow rub against furniture, a gentle brush along a doorway, or a lingering sniff in a familiar corner is all part of this silent conversation. Through scent, cats mark places as safe, recognize who has passed through, and create a sense of familiarity that reduces stress. This is why a cat may carefully inspect a new bag, a visitor's shoes, or a room that feels slightly different than before. For cats, smell is not limited to finding food. It provides context. It offers reassurance. It defines boundaries and belonging. While humans tend to trust their eyes first, cats often rely on what their nose tells them. Their environment is layered with meanings that exist just beyond our perception. A cat's spine is designed for sudden twists and rapid adjustments, a feature that can make the difference during a fall. When a cat begins to tumble, the flexible spine allows the front and back of the body to rotate independently. This ability helps the cat reorient in midair, spreading its limbs and preparing for impact with remarkable control. It explains why cats so often land on their feet, especially from moderate heights, though they are not immune to injury. This same flexibility shapes the way cats move through the world. They leap, pivot, and weave through obstacles with a smooth, flowing motion that makes the body seem elastic. Watch a cat at play as it changes direction in an instant, and you'll see this design in action. The spine is not merely a line of bones, it is an active system built for balance, speed, and precise movement. Even a playful jump carries the signature of that ancient engineering. In ancient Egypt, cats were not merely accepted, they were revered. Their role as hunters protected valuable food stores, and this practical importance gradually grew into deep cultural respect. Cats became closely associated with the goddess Bastet, a symbol of protection, home, and fertility. In certain periods, harming a cat was considered a serious crime, reflecting how strongly they were valued by society. Families sometimes mourned the loss of a cat with formal rituals, expressing genuine grief rather than casual loss. Archaeological discoveries reveal cat burials and artwork that place them alongside humans in scenes of daily life, treated with care and dignity. This marks one of the earliest examples of a society building laws, beliefs, and emotional meaning around an animal companion. It also echoes something we still recognize today. When people live closely with cats, they often begin to see them as more than skilled hunters. They become symbols of calm, grace, and quiet strength. Many cats use a special form of communication when interacting with humans, the meow. Among themselves, adult cats rely far less on vocal sounds, preferring posture, scent, and subtle cues. But with people, they often develop a unique vocal style, as if they've learned which sounds capture our attention. Some meows are brief and bright, others long and expressive, and many owners swear they can recognize specific meanings in each one. Over time, cats tend to adjust their voices based on the responses they receive, refining their sounds to suit their human companions. In this way, the meow becomes less of an instinct and more of a shared language shaped by everyday interaction.
A cat's teeth and jaws are shaped for precision, designed to deliver a swift, efficient outcome when needed. Their claws remain tucked away, revealed only at the exact moment. Even during play, the same instinctive sequence is at work: watch, stalk, pounce, grasp, bite. This is not mere amusement, it is practice, a rehearsal honed over countless generations. Many pet cats will still chase toys in the quiet hours of the night, guided by instincts attuned to twilight, the time when small prey would be most active. Living with a cat is sharing space with an ancient specialist, a creature refined for survival. Every step a cat takes carries intention. Their rolling gait softens movement, turning sound almost to silence. Back paws often land in the prints of front paws, weight distributed perfectly, spine and shoulders working together to create a flowing, almost effortless glide. It is stealth in motion, visible even when unheard, and it allows cats to move confidently along narrow ledges, the tops of fences, or the backs of sofas without a single misstep. In darkness, they cross rooms as though the space itself bends to their presence. That quiet precision is not courtesy, it is the inheritance of a predator shaped by millennia of unseen approach. A cat's collarbone floats freely, allowing the shoulders to move with remarkable flexibility. Unlike many animals, their front limbs are not locked rigidly, enabling them to step around obstacles, compress through tight spaces, and twist with controlled fluidity. What may look like rubber-like contortions is actually a carefully engineered skeleton. Shoulder blades slide along the rib cage as the body flows, allowing passage through dens, burrows, or the narrowest of openings. At home, this means the cat can vanish behind furniture, slip through half-open doors, or escape from a carrier that seemed secure. Flexibility and control are one, and every movement reflects that harmony. Even the smallest gestures speak their language. A slow blink, often called a cat kiss, is a signal of calm. Unlike a tense stare, which communicates caution or threat, a relaxed, unhurried blink expresses safety and trust. If you return the gesture, gently closing your eyes and reopening them in a quiet rhythm, many cats will blink back or move closer, creating a wordless conversation. This language is mirrored among cats in peaceful homes where mutual trust allows coexistence without conflict. It is simple, natural, and profound. In a world of loud attention, the slow blink is deliberate kindness, a moment of shared calm. Scent, too, speaks in subtle ways. The glands on a cat's cheeks and around the mouth leave invisible signatures, marking familiar people and spaces. When a cat presses its face against your leg or gently bumps your hand, it is doing more than seeking affection. It is quietly announcing, "You are known and this space is safe." These soft markings are another layer of the cat's constant, careful communication, a reminder that even small gestures carry meaning. When a cat rubs against you, it is quietly leaving its signature, marking you as part of its safe circle. It is a gentle way of saying, "You belong here, and this space is familiar." You may notice this behavior most when you return home, the cat reaffirming the steadiness and security of its environment. Cats do the same with corners of furniture or door frames, creating an invisible map of comfort across the space. In homes with multiple cats, these scent markings help weave a shared sense of territory, reducing tension and allowing everyone to coexist peacefully. To humans, it feels like an affectionate greeting. To cats, it is also practical reassurance, a way to make the world smell predictable, calm, and safe.
A cat's ears are marvels of independent motion, able to rotate and tilt to catch the faintest sounds. Even half asleep, a cat can track noises in ways that seem almost impossible. Tiny muscles control each ear separately, allowing one to focus on you while the other monitors the room. This constant movement acts like an intricate radar system, pinpointing direction and distance, even for subtle, brief, or hidden sounds. In the wild, this precision can mean the difference between capturing prey or going hungry. At home, it allows cats to sense changes long before their eyes engage. You may notice a cat freeze mid-step, ears swiveling toward an imperceptible sound, completely alert to a layered acoustic world invisible to us. A cat's nose is equally remarkable, carrying a unique pattern of ridges, bumps, and textures, much like a human fingerprint. Slightly moist to capture scent particles from the air, it is a finely tuned reading tool. When a cat leans in to sniff, it is not a casual glance. It is a careful, methodical assessment of its surroundings, gathering information about food, other animals, and changes in the environment. Cats often pause at doorways or unfamiliar objects, taking repeated sniffs to build a richer understanding of safety and novelty. This extraordinary sense allows cats to recognize people and spaces without even seeing them. Even in low light, the scent reveals stories that remain hidden to human eyes. For a cat, the nose is a guide, a memory system, and a stabilizing sense in a world full of invisible signals. Taste works differently for cats. They barely detect sweetness due to a small genetic variation in a key taste receptor. Offer a sugary treat, and it will barely register the flavor. This makes perfect sense. Cats evolved as meat specialists. Their survival depended on protein and fat, not sugar or fruit, so their senses adapted to focus on what truly matters. Smell and taste cues for meat, fish, and other protein-rich foods dominate their world, explaining why they may ignore a slice of cake, yet become intensely curious about a piece of fish or the aroma of cooked poultry. Cats do not experience the kitchen or any space the way we do. They are not tiny humans in fur. Their biology is tuned to a different menu, one shaped by hunting, flesh, and survival rather than sugar. Sometimes you might notice a cat pause with its mouth slightly open, lips curled in an almost comical expression. This is called the Feline response, and despite its playful appearance, it is a serious sensory tool. It directs chemical cues toward a specialized organ that deciphers social signals, often left by other animals. You might see this behavior when a cat inspects a new bag, a visitor's clothing, or a spot another cat has marked. It is not an idle gesture, it is analysis. In that brief pause, the cat is reading layers of invisible meaning, clues about identity, mood, or recent activity. In the wild, this helps them judge who has passed through and whether vigilance is needed. In a home, it offers a glimpse into the complex world operating beneath a calm exterior. Even a single sniff can reveal an entire hidden story.
A cat's tail serves multiple purposes. It is both a balance tool and an emotional signal. Upright and relaxed, it can greet friends with confidence. Puffed and bristling, it can make a frightened cat appear larger and more formidable. Slow swishes may indicate concentration or mild irritation, while rapid whipping signals impatience or warning. Cats even wrap their tails around themselves for warmth and comfort, like a living blanket. In social settings, tail posture communicates intentions to other cats from a distance, long before close interaction occurs. For humans, learning this language transforms understanding. A tail can reveal curiosity, uncertainty, or a desire to be left alone. Unlike expressions on the face, the tail is remarkably honest, a real-time indicator of mood. Grooming is another window into a cat's biology and behavior. At first glance, it may seem like simple tidying, but each session is a full-body reset. The tongue sweeps through fur, lifting dirt and loose hairs while spreading natural oils that keep the coat healthy and weather-ready. Saliva also provides a subtle cooling effect, evaporating to help the cat shed heat, especially in warm or still conditions. Beyond hygiene, grooming serves as self-soothing. Many cats lick in slow, rhythmic strokes after moments of excitement, conflict, or sudden noise, as if turning down their own internal volume. It is common after play or tension with another pet, a way of returning to calm. Excessive grooming, however, can indicate stress, showing that this behavior serves as both comfort and signal. Some cats make an intriguing sound when observing birds or small prey, a quick chirp or chattering noise. You may notice this when sitting by a window, a bird hopping outside, the cat's body tense with focus. The tail tip may twitch, and the chirp spills out at the edge of action. This sound is often mistaken for frustration, but it reflects the thrill of the hunt and the precise tension of instinct in motion. It is one of the many subtle ways cats communicate, both to themselves and to the world around them.
Some of the sounds cats make, like the rapid chirp at a bird or fluttering prey, can seem like excitement spilling out of a hunt that will never happen indoors. Researchers suggest this might be linked to the quick jaw movements used in a precise kill, the body rehearsing instinctively. Whatever the reason, it is a moment when the wild predator peeks through the domestic companion. A quiet room suddenly hums with intent, compressed into a tiny sound that carries hidden purpose. Kittens, like little apprentices, learn social skills and timing from the very start. They are not born knowing how to navigate the world or interact with others. The first weeks of life are a fast-moving school where every touch, every reaction teaches an important lesson. Gentle handling helps them feel comfortable with human voices, hands, and everyday household sounds. Play with littermates teaches bite control and boundaries. A bite that hurts brings immediate feedback, shaping lifelong understanding. When these lessons are missing or inconsistent, some cats grow into adults who startle easily or hesitate in new situations. Early experiences, even small ones like a calm introduction to a carrier, a soft brush, a friendly visitor, or a new room, form the foundation of confidence long before a cat reaches maturity. Many cats retain emotion from kittenhood, kneading with their paws. This rhythmic pressing and releasing, often performed on blankets, laps, or cushions, echoes nursing behavior. Back then, kneading helped stimulate milk flow and became linked to warmth, safety, and comfort. In adult cats, it resurfaces as a deeply soothing ritual. Eyes half closed, purring softly, paws moving automatically, the gesture is instinctive, not aggressive. In the wild, kneading also helps prepare a resting spot, pressing down leaves or grass. At home, it becomes an intimate sign of trust, a physical expression of feeling safe enough to relax completely.
A cat's athleticism is built for bursts, not endurance. Fast twitch muscle fibers allow sudden, explosive movement, dashing after a toy, darting under furniture, or leaping to a shelf. In nature, this makes sense. Hunting is about precision and timing, not prolonged chases. Cats pause, calculate, then unleash dramatic speed in short sequences. It is not laziness, it is energy efficiency. This is why play that mimics hunting, stalking, pouncing, and sudden bursts is far more satisfying than continuous running. Their bodies are designed for quick stories, not marathons. A cat's eyes are masterpieces of adaptation. Pupils can narrow into vertical slits under bright light, protecting highly sensitive eyes while maintaining sharp focus. When darkness falls, pupils dilate, letting in as much light as possible. This rapid adjustment allows cats to move seamlessly from sunlit windows to dim hallways, keeping the world readable. Beyond protection, pupils express mood, wide with curiosity or excitement, narrow with focus or bright conditions, telling subtle stories without words. At night, you may notice a cat's eyes glowing in eerie shades of green, gold, or blue. This comes from a reflective layer behind the retina, which bounces light back through the eye, giving the photoreceptors a second chance to capture it. It is a clever adaptation, allowing cats to see in near darkness when prey moves and shadows dominate. This shimmer is not just beautiful, it's a tool, a secret amplifier of twilight vision, turning dim spaces into a readable landscape for a creature built for quiet precision. A cat's reflective eye layer explains why their eyes can seem to glow in car headlights or a dim hallway. This mirror-like adaptation enhances low-light vision, though it can slightly soften fine detail in brighter conditions. Cats are not built for visual precision in harsh light. Their world is tuned for motion and twilight. It is a design that feels almost magical, yet it is entirely practical. When humans begin to fumble in fading light, cats move with confidence, reading their surroundings effortlessly. Sudden bursts of energy, often called zoomies, are another fascinating display of feline physiology. One moment, the house is calm. The next, your cat is streaking across hallways, skidding around corners, and leaping with comet-like speed. These eruptions are common in younger cats, but can occur at any age. Sometimes they are playful, a release of stored energy. Sometimes they are a way to shake off tension, converting nervous energy into motion. While chaotic to observe, these frenetic sprints often serve as self-regulation. Once the rush is over, many cats settle quietly, as if the brief outburst cleared their system. In a safe home, zoomies are a sign of a healthy, well-tuned engine. Cats are creatures of routine, finely attuned to predictability.
Small changes, a moved couch, a new scent, a stranger in the house, or a suitcase appearing can trigger heightened vigilance. More hiding, careful observation, or repeated corner checks is not stubbornness, it is an evolved survival strategy. Gentle consistency rebuilds calm, returning to familiar rhythms, offering predictable play, and allowing the cat control over approach and distance helps them adjust. Routine is not boredom to a cat, it is safety written into time. Cat's sense of smell dominates food choice and safety. A meal begins with a sniff, not a bite. Strong olfactory cues convey freshness, edibility, and information about the environment. A blocked nose can make even familiar foods seem unappealing, while warmth releases aroma and makes a meal more enticing. Cats often sniff, step back, then return for a careful second check, confirming every detail. Smell informs memory and comfort. Familiar scents offer reassurance. New scents trigger caution. What seems like pickiness is actually the nose guiding decision-making, telling a story the human eye cannot read. Paw pads are exquisitely sensitive, picking up subtle vibrations in the environment. A cat can read a room without seeing it clearly, sensing footsteps, doors settling, or small creatures moving below floorboards. Sometimes a paw presses down not to hold an object, but to gather tactile information. This sensitivity aids hunting and even playful tracking, giving cats an early warning system built into every step. The Jacobson's organ, or vomeronasal system, adds another layer of perception. Located in the roof of the mouth, it allows cats to analyze chemical signals in the air, reading social cues left by other animals. A cat sniffing a doorway, a patch of carpet, or a visitor's shoes is decoding a hidden message board, learning who was present, their emotional state, and possible intentions. To humans, it may appear trivial. To the cat, it is vital information. Their world is not only what they see, but also what the air remembers.
Cats' hydration habits reflect their desert ancestry. Many drink very little water, deriving moisture mainly from prey, a survival adaptation still visible today. Some prefer only tiny sips or moisture hidden in food, occasionally fascinated by running taps. This is not fussiness, but a deeply ingrained survival instinct. Their kidneys are designed to conserve water efficiently, producing concentrated urine and balancing fluids with remarkable precision. Adequate hydration keeps this system running smoothly, but reduced intake can quickly affect health. This ancient biological design highlights how every sip a cat takes is guided by a finely tuned internal machine. Sleep for cats is long, but often light. A cat appearing fully at rest may still be alert, the body on standby. Much of their rest is a light doze, allowing them to respond instantly to environmental changes. Even in apparent stillness, a cat remains connected to the world around it, ready for action in the blink of an eye. You can notice it in the smallest details. An ear turns slightly, whiskers adjust, eyes open just a fraction, then gently close again. For an animal shaped by both hunting and survival, this makes perfect sense. Rest is necessary, but complete unconsciousness for long periods would be risky. So, cats evolved something elegant, the ability to rest without fully disconnecting. They recharge while still keeping quiet watch over their surroundings. This is why a cat can appear to materialize from a sofa the instant you open a cupboard door. They were never fully asleep in the human sense. They were resting with awareness still switched on. It also explains why cats choose sleeping places so carefully, often favoring spots with a wide view or a quick exit. Even in rest, their intelligence stays quietly active. Sometimes a cat drifts into a deeper layer of sleep and the stillness changes. Paws twitch as if stepping through an unseen place, whiskers quiver, the jaw moves slightly, and the tail may flick in response to something only the cat can see. This stage of sleep is linked to dreaming, when the brain becomes busy while the body remains mostly still.
Watching it feels almost intimate, like catching a glimpse of a private story unfolding. Perhaps it is a chase, a climb, or the echo of play from earlier in the day. Kittens show these movements more strongly, which fits with how much their minds are learning and organizing. Adult cats do it too, just more subtly. It is a quiet reminder that cats are not only reacting to the world, they are processing it, sorting experiences, refining skills, even while curled into a small comma of fur. Sleep itself becomes a form of practice. Cats are also far more observant than they pretend to be. A cat may seem indifferent, but learning is often happening beneath the surface. Over time, many cats associate specific sounds with specific outcomes. The click of a food tin, the arrival of a familiar person, the appearance of a carrier, or the start of a favorite game. Their responses are not automatic because cats are not wired for obedience, they are wired for choice. If responding has led to something pleasant before, you may see a quick approach. If it once led to claw trimming, you may see sudden invisibility. Tone matters as well. A soft voice often signals safety, while sharp sounds can prompt distance. Some cats even recognize individual names or react differently to phrases that predict routine. What makes this fascinating is the decision behind the behavior. A cat can understand you perfectly and still choose. That choice is not defiance, it is agency, and it is part of what makes cats feel so vividly alive. Cats also communicate less with faces and more with angles. Humans search expressions for emotion, but cats speak through posture. A slight turn of the body can signal comfort or a quiet readiness to leave. A relaxed cat often sits loosely, offering its side rather than facing you directly. An uncertain cat may lower its body, stiffen slightly, and keep its weight prepared to move. The tilt of the head, the curve of the spine, the placement of the paws, all of it forms a silent sentence. This is why feline communication is often missed. It is not dramatic or loud, it is geometric, and once you learn to read it, you begin to understand what will happen moments before it does. Fur is never just decoration. It can be a quiet signal of what is happening beneath the surface. The next time a dark-coated cat slips through a doorway like a moving shadow, it helps to remember that evolution often uses the outer layer to carry hidden stories. Sometimes those stories are simply about beauty, and sometimes they are about survival.
White cats with blue eyes, for example, often carry a genetic trade-off that is not visible at first glance. That striking combination of snow-colored fur and pale blue eyes can be linked to changes in how the inner ear develops. In some cats, this results in partial or complete deafness, affecting one ear or both. It has nothing to do with intelligence or temperament, but it can quietly shape how the world is perceived. Deaf cats often become highly skilled at reading movement, vibration, and routine. They may react strongly to sudden touch because sound never announced the approach. Over time, many humans learn new ways to communicate with them: gentle floor vibrations, light signals, or visual cues that replace voice. What emerges is not limitation, but adaptation. Even without hearing, these cats often form deep, attentive bonds, building rich lives from the senses that remain. Calico and tortoiseshell coats tell a different kind of biological story, one written directly into the chromosomes. These coats look like living paintings with patches of color arranged as if by chance. The pattern exists because the genes responsible for orange and black fur sit on the X chromosome. Female cats usually carry two X chromosomes, and early in development, each cell randomly selects which one to activate. That decision varies from cell to cell, creating a natural mosaic across the body. One area grows orange, another black, and together they form a map of early cellular choices. Male cats with only one X chromosome rarely show this patchwork unless a rare genetic variation is present. When you look at a calico, you are not just seeing fur, you are seeing genetics made visible, a quiet record of decisions made long before birth.
Some cats carry their genetic history in their paws instead. Polyactyl cats are born with extra toes, giving their feet a wide, mitten-like appearance. The trait is especially common in coastal regions and old port towns, where its history became intertwined with life at sea. Sailors often welcomed cats aboard ships to control rodents, and polyactyl cats were sometimes favored. Their broader paws were believed to provide better balance on rolling decks. As ships moved between harbors, cats traveled with them, carrying those genes across coastlines. Over time, what began as a random mutation became a familiar sight in certain communities. In those places, extra toes stopped being unusual and became part of the local character, another reminder that evolution does not only shape survival, but also leaves behind stories we can still see. Those extra toes can sometimes give cats unexpected finesse. A polyactyl paw may grip toys more securely or find steadier purchase while climbing. Not every polyactyl cat looks the same, and good care includes paying attention to claws that may grow at unusual angles or need extra trimming. Still, there is something quietly charming about the trait. It is a reminder that history moves on 4 feet, and now and then it leaves footprints with 1 extra toe. Hairless cat breeds tell a very different story of adaptation. Touching a hairless cat feels like resting your hand on warm suede, but that softness comes with unique needs. Without fur to absorb oils or shield the skin, natural secretions can build up, making gentle cleaning an important part of care. These cats also lose heat more easily. A sunlit window can feel like paradise, while a cool room can be genuinely uncomfortable. Warmth becomes essential rather than optional. Soft sweaters are not fashion statements here, they are practical insulation. Hairlessness also does not guarantee freedom from allergies, since many reactions are triggered by skin proteins rather than fur itself. Living with a hairless cat often feels like sharing space with a small, affectionate heat source, one that asks for attentiveness in exchange for closeness. Many of these cats become deeply people-focused, seeking laps, blankets, and steady contact as if companionship itself were part of their design. The Siamese coat pattern is shaped not by paint, but by temperature. Those dark ears, faces, paws, and tails appear because pigment production responds to heat. In warmer areas of the body, color develops less. In cooler extremities, it deepens. The result is a gradient formed by the cat's own internal climate. Kittens are born pale because the womb provides even warmth. As they grow and their extremities cool relative to the core, the darker points slowly emerge. Even the environment plays a role. Cooler living conditions can intensify contrast over time. This makes Siamese coloring feel alive rather than fixed, a visible conversation between chemistry, heat, and biology. When you see those dark points, you are looking at physics expressed through fur.
Folded ears tell a quieter, more complicated story. That gentle curve can give a cat a permanently curious expression, but the shape comes from a gene that alters cartilage. Cartilage supports more than ears, it also cushions joints throughout the body. In some cats with folded ears, the same genetic change can increase the risk of joint stiffness or bone pain later in life. This does not mean every folded ear cat will suffer, but it does mean careful breeding and attentive veterinary care matter deeply. It is a reminder that beauty in nature often comes with trade-offs, and that responsible care means seeing beyond appearance to the body underneath. This is why ethical conversations around folded ear cats matter so deeply, and why veterinary awareness is essential for anyone who lives with one. Some cats may develop subtle stiffness, hesitation before jumping, or quiet discomfort that can be easy to overlook if calmness is mistaken for contentment. The most caring response is not panic, but attention. Watching how a cat moves over time, noticing small changes, and supporting comfort early with professional guidance can make a meaningful difference. The larger lesson reaches beyond any single breed. Physical traits can carry unseen costs. What looks charming on the surface is not always harmless beneath it. When humans influence animals through selective breeding, we shape not just appearances, but entire lifetimes.
curiosity becomes responsibility the moment welfare enters the picture. A cat's coat is not a fixed costume. It is a living system that responds continuously to light, season, and internal balance. As days grow shorter, many cats develop thicker fur, then release it in dramatic sheds when warmth returns. Indoor life may soften the extremes, but daylight still plays a role, guiding hormonal signals that influence hair growth. Health matters too. Stress, illness, or hormonal changes can alter texture, shine, and shedding patterns, turning the coat into a quiet indicator of what is happening inside the body. Even color can shift subtly as new hairs replace old ones, especially in cats whose coats show layered patterns. Brushing may feel like simple care, but it is also cooperation with biology, easing transitions and keeping skin comfortable. Watching a coat change through the year can feel grounding, like seeing time itself leave gentle traces in fur. Sometimes fur carries a story from before birth. A kitten may arrive with an unusually pale or smoky coat, almost as if brushed with frost. This can happen when a pregnant cat experiences stress, illness, or fever, affecting how pigment forms during early development. The effect is temporary. As the kitten grows and sheds that first coat, the true underlying color often emerges. For new owners, the transformation can feel surprising, even dramatic. But this is not mystery, it is biology remembering its earliest conditions. A fever coat quietly reflects how sensitive developing bodies are to the mother's environment. Calm surroundings, proper nutrition, and veterinary care during pregnancy do more than protect the parent. They leave visible imprints on the next generation. Fur, in this case, becomes a record of care. If you watch a cat closely during play, you may begin to notice something familiar. One paw reaches first, one paw strikes with more confidence, one paw seems chosen again and again. Many cats develop a consistent paw preference similar to human-handedness. This subtle bias shows up when batting toys, stepping forward, or exploring new objects. It suggests that the feline brain, like our own, organizes itself with gentle asymmetry. These small preferences remind us that cats are not only instinct-driven creatures, they're individuals shaped by both biology and experience, expressing identity in the quietest ways. This preference shows up in ordinary moments, not just play. A cat may lead with the same paw when stepping into a carrier, reaching towards an unfamiliar object, or pulling something closer for inspection. These patterns hint at how the feline brain organizes movement. Favoring one side suggests subtle differences in how each hemisphere coordinates action. Some research hints that paw preference may vary with personality or sex, but the takeaway is simple and humanizing. Cats are not symmetrical machines. They develop personal motor habits over time, shaped by experience. Not every cat shows a strong bias, but those that do are often remarkably consistent. It is a small detail, yet it adds depth, a reminder that each cat has its own style, its own way of approaching problems, and its own quiet individuality. Some of the smallest wild cats weigh less than the one curled up on your couch. In forests and grasslands around the world, certain species remain compact, light, and astonishingly agile. Their size is not a limitation, it is an advantage. Small wildcats can slip into dense cover, climb with ease, and survive on prey that would not sustain a larger hunter. They live efficiently, precisely, and cautiously, yet their instincts are no less sharp. They carry the same silent focus, the same patient stalking, the same explosive precision seen in a house cat chasing a toy. The difference is consequence. In the wild, every choice carries risk. A rustle could mean food or threat. When we imagine wildcats, we often picture animals the size of lions, but some of the fiercest lives unfold in bodies smaller than a sleeping pet. Even the largest cats share behaviors that look unmistakably familiar. A tiger may outweigh a human many times over, yet its learning begins the same way. Young big cats wrestle with siblings, pounce clumsily, and chase in short bursts, developing coordination long before survival depends on it. That playful rehearsal does not disappear with age. Adult big cats still test objects, swat moving things, and engage with the world using curiosity first and force second. The pattern runs deep. Cats are wired to sharpen balance, timing, and confidence through play. It is not wasted energy. It is training disguised as joy. When a kitten jumps sideways in surprise, you are watching the same nervous system that powers lions and leopards. One design scaled across sizes, like a single melody played in different keys. In some regions, domestic cats and wild cats live close enough to cross paths, and sometimes to interbreed. These hybrid encounters can complicate conservation efforts. The kittens may look wild and behave cautiously, yet carry domestic genes quietly into wild populations. Over time, this blending can blur the genetic lines that conservationists work to protect. Traits shaped by specific landscapes can slowly dilute, making it harder to preserve truly wild lineages. Identification becomes difficult too. A cat may appear wild at a glance, while genetics reveal a more tangled history. This is not a story of blame. It is a result of shared spaces, expanding human settlements, and overlapping habitats. Even a well-cared-for house cat can be connected indirectly to much larger ecological conversations unfolding at the edges of wilderness. On islands, the impact of cats can be especially powerful. Island species often evolve without certain predators, leaving birds, reptiles, and small mammals unusually vulnerable. When cats arrive, even in small numbers, the balance can shift quickly. Ground-nesting birds may have no defenses against a silent hunter. Lizards and native mammals can decline rapidly. These losses ripple outward. Fewer birds can lead to surges in insects. Changes cascade through plants, soil, and water systems. What looks like a single hunter can reshape an entire web of life. It is a reminder that cats are not only companions, they are skilled predators, carrying an ancient role that still matters deeply, especially in fragile environments. When native predators decline, other populations can surge in unexpected ways. This is one of the most sobering lessons in ecology. An animal that feels ordinary, even gentle in one setting, can become overwhelmingly influential in another. This is not a story about cats being harmful by nature. It is about islands being fragile by design. Conservation efforts often focus on practical balance rather than blame. Encouraging indoor living, managing colonies responsibly, and protecting critical nesting areas are all ways people try to reduce harm while respecting the animal itself. There is something unsettling but important in this truth. A single species placed in the wrong environment can reshape an entire living system simply by following instincts that once ensured its survival.
Long before cats became household companions, they traveled as working animals aboard ships. A ship was essentially a floating pantry packed with grain, dried foods, and supplies meant to last months. Wherever food went, rats followed, gnawing through stores and spreading disease. Cats became invaluable because they required little training, worked independently, and hunted silently through dark cargo holds. Picture the lower decks of a wooden ship, the slow creak of timber, the rhythm of waves above, and somewhere in the shadows, a cat pausing, listening, waiting. Sailors often grew deeply fond of these ship cats and surrounded them with superstition, believing a skilled hunter brought protection and good fortune. As ships crossed oceans, cats crossed with them, stepping onto docks in unfamiliar lands and quietly shaping local populations. Even today, a house cat carries echoes of that wandering past, not only as a companion, but as a worker whose presence once meant survival. Among sailor stories, one tale returns again and again because it feels almost unbelievable. A ship sinks, chaos fills the sea, and somehow a cat is found alive among wreckage and survivors. Then, according to legend, it happens again and again. The most famous version is often told as the story of Unsinkable Sam, a ship's cat said to have survived multiple sinkings during the Second World War. The details shift depending on who tells the story, and that uncertainty gives it the quality of myth. But the deeper truth remains: ship cats were real. They lived alongside crews, and they sometimes endured conditions that tested human limits. Cats can cling, float, and survive in ways that surprise us. Sailors noticed this toughness and remembered it.
Even when history blends with legend, the meaning holds. We remember cats not only for their presence, but for their persistence. In medieval Europe, cats moved in and out of favor as fear and necessity pulled society in opposite directions. At times, superstition painted them as symbols of bad luck or witchcraft, especially black cats, leading to suspicion and harm. Yet reality never stopped knocking. Food stores attracted rodents, and rodents brought destruction and disease. When rat populations exploded, the cost was measured not only in lost grain, but in illness spreading through crowded streets. Slowly, the usefulness of a skilled mouser became undeniable. Cats returned to daily life not because beliefs softened, but because survival demanded it. This tension reveals something timeless. Humans can project meaning onto animals, weaving stories of fear or reverence, but biology and ecology continue to operate regardless. The animal still plays its role, the system still responds. Today, we often like to imagine history as a smooth path of progress, but the story of cats reminds us that it is more cyclical, shaped by need, misunderstanding, and rediscovery. Again and again, humans forget what an animal truly is until reality, gently or harshly, reminds them. Cat history is anything but neat. It reveals how easily an animal can move from being admired to feared to welcomed back again. Not because beliefs changed overnight, but because daily life required their presence. Cats have been lifted onto pedestals, cast into suspicion, and then quietly invited home, again and again. Their story follows human need more than human intention, and that pattern repeats across cultures. In Japan, this long relationship takes a gentler symbolic form. In shop fronts and restaurants, you may notice a small cat figure with one paw lifted, as if beckoning you closer. This is the Maneki Neko, the beckoning cat, a symbol woven into ideas of good fortune, hospitality, and trade. The raised paw is an invitation, welcoming customers and prosperity alike. Variations in color and design carry different hopes, from protection to success, depending on tradition and region. What gives the symbol its lasting strength is how ordinary it feels. The cat is not distant or divine, it is present, familiar, sharing human spaces. Stories surround the figure, tales of temples, travelers, and a single small gesture that changed a fate. Whether taken as myth or metaphor, the image endures because it feels true. Cats move quietly through human life, and yet their presence often feels like luck made visible. Across Asia, Africa, and Europe, cats appear again and again in ancient art. Long before modern media made them icons, humans were already carving them into stone, painting them onto walls, and placing them into daily scenes. Cats appear in Egyptian tomb art, Roman mosaics, and East Asian paintings alongside household objects in seasonal moments. Sometimes they are protectors, sometimes companions, sometimes symbols of balance and watchfulness. What is striking is how instantly recognizable they are across centuries. The alert ears, the curved tail, the poised stillness before movement. Artists noticed the same qualities we notice today. These images act as quiet records of relationship. They show that cats were not merely tolerated, they were observed, remembered, and given space in the human imagination. When you encounter an ancient image of a cat, it feels familiar because the connection is old. The spell has been working for thousands of years. In the 19th century, that fascination took a new public form. Cats began stepping into the spotlight not just as helpers or companions, but as animals with recorded traits, named types, and curated appearances. One of the earliest famous cat shows was held in London at the Crystal Palace in 1871. Visitors gathered to admire different coats, colors, and body shapes displayed side by side. The event helped establish early breed standards and shifted how cats were perceived. A cat could now be both a beloved household presence and part of a documented lineage. This moment also opened debates that continue today about health, ethics, and the limits of selective breeding. The show was more than entertainment. It marked a turning point, pushing cats into public admiration and laying the groundwork for modern pedigree culture. Even a cat's voice reflects this adaptive relationship with humans. A meow is not a fixed sound. It is something many cats refine over time. Living closely with people teaches cats which sounds bring results. A short, gentle call might earn attention. A longer, rising tone might summon food. When one version works, it gets repeated. Over time, some cats develop highly specific vocal patterns tailored to their household. In this way, a meow becomes less of an instinct and more of a learned tool. It is another example of how cats quietly study us, adjust, and communicate in ways that fit the human world without ever losing their own independence. Cat history is rarely neat or linear. It reflects how easily an animal can shift roles in the human story, celebrated one era, feared the next, and later welcomed back when practicality and affection reassert themselves. In Japan, this layered relationship takes form in a small but powerful symbol. Across shop entrances and quiet restaurants, a small figure often waits with one paw lifted in gentle invitation. This is the maneki neko, the beckoning cat, a symbol woven into daily life. Its raised paw is not a wave, but a gesture of welcome, quietly suggesting good fortune, prosperity, and safe return. Variations in color and design carry different wishes, from protection to abundance, shaped by regional beliefs and tradition. What gives the symbol lasting strength is its closeness to everyday life. The cat is not distant or mythical, but familiar, sharing space, routine, and rhythm. Stories surround its origins, tales of travelers, temples, and a single small motion that changed a human path. Whether seen as legend or metaphor, the symbol endures because it feels true. Cats pass silently through human spaces, and yet their presence often feels like luck made visible. Long before modern media amplified their charm, cats were already etched into human memory through art. Across Asia, Africa, and Europe, ancient images show cats resting beside homes, stalking prey, or standing as symbols of protection and mystery. They appeared painted along the walls of Egyptian tombs, hinted at in Roman mosaics, and woven into East Asian art alongside ordinary household scenes and shifting seasons. What is striking is how familiar they still look. The arched back, the attentive ears, the poised stillness ready to dissolve into motion. Artists across centuries noticed the same qualities we notice today: elegance paired with unpredictability. These images are quiet records of attention. They show that humans did more than coexist with cats. They observed them, remembered them, and gave them a lasting place in imagination. Every ancient depiction is a reminder that the cat's quiet influence has been unfolding for a very long time. In the 19th century, that influence entered a new public chapter. The first organized cat shows marked a shift in how cats were seen, not only as useful companions, but as animals worthy of display, comparison, and admiration. One of the earliest and most influential shows took place in London at the Crystal Palace in 1871. For the first time, cats were presented side by side, their coats, colors, and forms carefully noted and discussed. This moment helped establish the foundations of pedigree breeding and formal standards. It also changed perception. A cat could now be both a household presence and a carefully traced lineage. With that shift came new conversations about health, ethics, and how far humans should go in shaping animals to fit ideals. The event was more than entertainment. It marked a turning point, placing cats firmly into public fascination and laying the groundwork for modern cat culture. A cat's voice is not fixed at birth. The sounds it makes evolve through interaction. When living with humans, cats begin to experiment. A brief, quiet sound may earn attention. A longer, rising call may bring food. Over time, the sounds that work are repeated, refined, and remembered. Slowly, each cat develops a personal vocal style shaped specifically for human ears. What makes this remarkable is how precise it becomes. The same cat may use different tones with different people, adjusting volume and rhythm based on past success. This is not pure instinct, it is learning through response. In the wild, adult cats rarely meow to one another, relying instead on scent, posture, and movement. With humans, meowing becomes a shared language. When a cat calls out, it is not simply making noise, it is speaking through memory, experience, and the quiet lessons of daily life. Cats also recognize the voices they live with, even when they choose not to respond. Recognition does not always look like action. Sometimes it appears as the smallest pause, an ear turning slightly, a momentary lift of the head before stillness returns. Voices carry more than words. They carry rhythm, familiarity, and emotional meaning. Cats learn which voices signal comfort, play, food, or disruption. Ignoring a call can be a choice, not a misunderstanding. This is why one person may be answered instantly while another receives silence. The meaning lies not in the command, but in the sound itself. When you speak, your cat listens, sorts, and decides. Quiet afterward does not mean the message was lost. It means it was considered. After eating, many cats begin a slow, deliberate ritual of rubbing against nearby surfaces. Furniture, walls, even human legs become part of this gentle circuit. This behavior is rooted in security. Eating is a vulnerable act in nature, and marking afterward helps transform the space into one that feels safe. Through subtle scent signals, the cat blends itself with its surroundings, reinforcing familiarity. This is not random affection, it is reassurance made physical. You may notice it happens more often after changes in routine or environment. By rubbing, the cat is restoring balance, quietly rewriting the space to say, "This place is settled again." When you are included, you become part of that safety. Scratching serves a similar purpose, layered with motion and texture. When claws trace a surface, visible marks are left behind while scent is deposited at the same time. Together, these signals turn ordinary objects into landmarks. Scratching often appears near entrances, sleeping areas, or common pathways through a home. It may also follow waking as the body stretches back into alertness. While the act is physically satisfying, it is also grounding. Scratching helps a cat re-establish its sense of place. That is why posts work best where cats naturally want to mark. When cats scratch, they are not causing harm, they are anchoring themselves, writing familiarity into their world in a language of scent and texture. Cats are also masters of quiet endurance. In the wild, showing weakness can attract danger, so many cats evolved to hide discomfort. That instinct remains even in safe homes. Illness may reveal itself only through small shifts, longer rest, reduced movement, quieter choices. Appetite changes can be subtle. Grooming may slow or become uneven. These signs are easy to miss if dramatic signals are expected. Calm does not always mean comfort. Often it is protection. This is why knowing a cat's normal rhythm matters so deeply. Small changes stand out only when routine is familiar. By the time obvious distress appears, the problem may already be advanced. Silence in cats can be strength, but sometimes it is a very quiet request.
Even whiskers tell a story. They are not still decorations, but expressive tools that shift with emotion and attention. When interest or curiosity rises, whiskers angle forward, extending the cat's sensory field. When stress or uncertainty appears, they may pull back closer to the face. These subtle movements offer a glimpse into the cat's inner state, if you know how to look. In stillness, cats are always communicating through posture, sound, scent, and silence, inviting us to notice just a little more, and in doing so, to rest alongside them. These whisker shifts often appear during play, exploration, or moments of intense focus. When a cat feels unsure, pressured, or threatened, the whiskers tend to draw inward, closer to the face, subtly limiting sensory exposure. These adjustments happen fast, sometimes before any sound or movement gives warning. When whiskers are read alongside ear position and body posture, they offer early insight into a cat's emotional state. Forward whiskers suggest readiness and engagement. Pulled back whiskers often signal a need for distance.
This quiet language is especially valuable in calm moments when nothing seems wrong until it suddenly is. Once you learn to notice Whiskers, a cat's feelings stop hiding in silence and begin revealing themselves clearly. Seasonal changes and lack of stimulation can quietly increase stress in cats. A cat may appear relaxed, yet unspent energy can gather beneath the surface. In the natural world, cats spend their time observing, planning, stalking, and solving small problems. When these mental outlets disappear, tension can emerge in unexpected ways. Restlessness at night, repeated vocalizing, destructive scratching, or overly rough play can all point to unmet cognitive needs. Enrichment works by giving the mind something meaningful to engage with. Brief play sessions that follow natural hunting patterns help complete instinctive cycles. Puzzle feeders slow meals while adding purpose. Elevated resting spots and window views expand a cat's perceived world. The aim is not constant stimulation, but balance. When curiosity and effort are expressed during the day, rest comes more easily afterward. Enrichment does not change a cat's nature. It allows that nature to unfold without turning stress into confusing behaviors. Cats living together often coexist best when vertical space and movement options are available. Control over movement matters deeply to cats. In shared environments, tension rises when pathways are tight and escape routes are limited. Vertical structures, shelves, tall furniture, and climbing trees add layers of territory, allowing cats to pass above one another or rest without confrontation. Multiple routes through the same area reduce forced encounters. Peace does not require friendship, it requires choice. When cats can approach or withdraw freely, safety increases. This shows in how they pause, reroute, or wait rather than challenge directly. The environment supports their natural preference for quiet negotiation. Thoughtful layout often prevents conflict more effectively than punishment or forced interaction. When space allows silent communication through distance and timing, harmony can develop on its own. Early experiences play a major role in shaping how cats stalk, chase, and pounce. Hunting style is learned as much as it is inherited. Kittens refine their movements through play, especially with siblings who provide instant feedback. A bite that hurts ends the game. A mistimed leap fails. These moments teach control, confidence, and strategy. Cats raised with varied play often develop smoother coordination and better restraint. Those with fewer early interactions may rush, hesitate, or struggle with timing. Environment also leaves its mark. Kittens raised among hiding places may become ambush specialists, while those in open spaces may favor speed. These patterns often persist into adulthood, showing up during play with toys. The reassuring part is that learning does not stop. Thoughtful play later in life can still refine skills, build confidence, and restore balance. Each session becomes a safe rehearsal of instinct guided towards success. Cats can also learn through structured rewards when training feels like play. Training works best when curiosity leads and pressure stays absent. Many cats quickly learn to touch targets, follow simple cues, or ring bells when timing is clear and rewards are consistent. The process engages problem solving rather than obedience. Short sessions maintain interest and prevent frustration. Puzzles can become part of training, teaching patience while satisfying the desire to earn food. What often surprises people is how willing cats are once they understand the rules. Training can ease stress around carriers, grooming, or veterinary visits by replacing uncertainty with predictability. It also deepens communication, offering cats a way to succeed on their own terms. At its core, effective training is built on respect, and that respect makes all the difference. When a training session ends while interest is still alive, the memory stays positive. The cat walks away feeling successful rather than frustrated. Over time, learning slips naturally into daily life, supported by trust, clear signals, and shared wins. Training stops being an event and becomes a quiet conversation, one built on mutual understanding rather than control. A cat's heart beats far faster than a human's, even at rest. Inside a relaxed cat, the heart maintains a rhythm that would seem alarming in a person. This rapid pace supports a body designed for sudden action rather than long endurance. When a cat leaps, twists, or accelerates in an instant, oxygen and nutrients must arrive immediately, and the heart is already prepared. You may notice it when a cat is curled against you, a steady flutter beneath the ribs. During play or moments of stress, that rhythm can climb even higher, fueling short bursts of intense movement. When resting, the heart slows slightly but never fully disengages. This quick pulse reflects a deeper design. Cats live poised between rest and action, appearing calm while remaining ready. The heart mirrors that balance, relaxed on the surface, prepared underneath, always capable of rapid change. Cats also possess a protective third eyelid that quietly safeguards their eyes. Tucked into the inner corner is a thin membrane most people rarely notice. This extra eyelid can slide across the eye to shield it from dust, debris, or injury while still allowing partial vision. It also helps spread tears evenly, keeping the eye moist and comfortable. You may glimpse it when a cat is deeply relaxed, drowsy, or just waking. In those moments, it appears pale and translucent, then slips away again. In healthy cats, it remains hidden, working silently. Because it plays a role in eye health, changes in how visible it becomes can sometimes signal trouble. Like many feline features, it functions as a quiet backup system, present when needed, invisible when not, protecting sharp vision in a constantly moving world. Cat allergies usually come from skin proteins rather than fur itself. The true trigger is a protein produced by cats that lives on the skin and in saliva. During grooming, this protein spreads onto the coat. As fur sheds, the protein travels with it, becoming airborne or settling across surfaces. This explains why even hairless cats can cause reactions and why grooming and cleaning routines sometimes help. It also explains why allergies vary so much between individual cats. Not all produce the same amount of protein, and human sensitivity differs as well. Understanding this shifts attention away from fur length and toward management, such as air filtration, cleaning habits, and controlled exposure. Allergies can feel unpredictable because the cat does not change, but where the protein settles does, reshaping how the body responds from day to day. Some cats naturally produce lower levels of the primary allergy-related protein. This variation is influenced by genetics, sex, and hormonal changes. One cat may trigger symptoms almost immediately, while another causes little reaction at all. This can surprise people who assume all cats affect allergies equally. Protein levels may also shift over time, particularly as cats mature or are neutered. While no cat is completely allergy-free, these differences matter in real life. For households balancing health and companionship, this quiet biological detail can make coexistence possible. The bond between cats and humans is not one size fits all. Sometimes it rests on subtle chemistry rather than intention. Cats can also overheat quietly, especially in closed cars or poorly ventilated rooms. Unlike dogs, cats rarely show dramatic signs of heat distress. They may not pant heavily or vocalize. Discomfort often stays subtle until it becomes dangerous. Enclosed spaces, especially vehicles, heat rapidly and can overwhelm a cat's ability to regulate body temperature in minutes. Indoors, sun-exposed rooms or areas with limited airflow can pose similar risks. Cats may stretch out on cool surfaces, move less, or become unusually still as the body struggles to cope. Because these signals are quiet, it's easy to miss. Prevention becomes essential. Shade, fresh water, airflow, and temperature awareness all play a role. Cats evolved in warm regions, but that does not make them immune to heat. Their silence is not comfort, it is conservation. making human awareness their strongest protection.
Lilies are extremely toxic to cats, even in tiny amounts. What looks like a harmless flower can be deadly. A dusting of pollen on fur, a sip from a vase, or a small bite from a leaf can be enough to cause severe kidney failure. The danger lies in how little exposure it takes and how ordinary the plant appears. The threat is quiet and fast-moving, often before symptoms are obvious. For cats, lilies are not just unsafe, they are lethal. Awareness and avoidance are the only real safeguards, because once exposure occurs, time becomes critically important. Cats process medications differently from humans. Their livers lack certain pathways that break down substances safely in people. This means drugs that are routine for humans, even over-the-counter pain relievers, can be toxic or fatal to cats at very small doses. The danger is not about size, it is about chemistry. Cats cannot neutralize some compounds effectively, so toxins can accumulate quickly. Veterinary guidance is essential, and sharing human medications is never safe. This difference highlights how specialized cats are biologically. Living alongside us does not mean their bodies work the same way. Their systems evolved for different diets, exposures, and survival pressures. Respecting those differences is central to responsible care. Dental disease is another quiet but serious concern. A cat's mouth can hide problems that affect the entire body. Plaque buildup may progress into inflamed gums or painful infections, yet many cats continue eating without obvious signs of discomfort. Over time, bacteria from the mouth can enter the bloodstream, placing stress on the heart, kidneys, and other organs. Subtle signals, bad breath, drooling, slight behavioral changes, reduced grooming, often appear first. Regular dental care, whether brushing, specialized diets, or professional cleanings, supports overall health, comfort, and longevity. For cats, the mouth is not separate from the body. It is a gateway. Hormonal changes, such as hypothyroidism, can quietly alter appetite, weight, and energy. In aging cats, the thyroid may overproduce hormones, accelerating metabolism. A cat may lose weight despite eating well, appear restless, or become unusually vocal or active. Some become irritable, others endlessly hungry. Because these changes develop gradually, they are sometimes mistaken for normal aging. Untreated, they can strain the heart and other organs. Veterinary diagnosis and management, however, can restore balance. A calm cat may regain composure, a quiet cat may return to contentment, and daily routines can feel normal again. Recognizing these shifts early allows care to support both health and personality. Longevity often stems from stability and attentive care. Cats that live long lives tend to experience predictable routines, consistent environments, and consistent social rhythms. Early veterinary attention, dental care, proper nutrition, and mental stimulation accumulate over time. The longest-lived cats are rarely exceptional individuals. They are the product of repeated, small, steady choices. Safety and predictability reduce stress, freeing energy for curiosity, play, and comfort. Life does not need to be dull. For a cat, knowing what comes next makes the world readable. Longevity is rarely one simple trick. It is many quiet supports layered gently over years. Cats navigate their homes using scent maps and environmental memory. Their sense of direction relies less on landmarks and more on layered experience. As a cat moves, it collects scent cues from surfaces, objects, and the air, forming an invisible map reinforced by repeated routes and textures. Coupled with memory of spatial connections, hiding spots, and safe paths, this system allows a cat to find its way even from unfamiliar places, sometimes over surprising distances. Indoors, it's easy to observe. A cat slips confidently through low light or follows a familiar path through furniture. For a cat, the world is not only seen, it is remembered through smell,
motion and quiet repetition. Cats also prefer water placed away from food, echoing wild instincts. In nature, food and water rarely coincide. Meat left near a water source risks contamination, and drinking from spoiled water is dangerous. Many domestic cats still follow this instinct. If water sits too close to food, they may hesitate, not stubbornly, but instinctively. Simply moving the bowl a short distance can suddenly spark interest and encourage drinking. You might notice a cat choosing a different water source entirely, like a bathroom sink, a dripping faucet, or even a glass left unattended. These choices often reflect a preference for freshness and separation. Flowing water signals renewal, not stagnation, and instinctively feels safer. Understanding this can change how you arrange a feeding area. The cat is not rejecting the bowl, it is following a rule written long before kitchens existed. Respecting that rule makes hydration feel natural and secure. Deep bowls can also create subtle stress. When a cat lowers its head into a narrow, deep dish, the whiskers brush repeatedly against the sides. Because whiskers are highly sensitive, this constant contact can become uncomfortable, sometimes even overwhelming. Over time, some cats avoid the bowl or eat only from the center. This is sometimes called whisker fatigue, though it is really sensory overload. Shallow dishes or wide plates reduce pressure, letting the cat eat without irritation. What may look like pickiness is actually a physical response, not a preference. Whiskers are designed to gather information, not endure constant stimulation. By respecting that sensitivity, mealtime can transform into a calm, relaxed ritual. Elevation offers cats both security and perspective. From a high perch, a cat can observe its surroundings without being approached directly. It gains early warning of movement, new sounds, or changes in the environment. Heights also allow control. An animal that values choice can decide when to engage and when to withdraw. Shelves, the tops of furniture, or the backs of sofas are not random resting spots. They provide stability, safety, and oversight. In homes with multiple cats, vertical space creates separate territories, easing tension. For indoor cats especially, a single perch can make an entire room feel larger, safer, and calmer. Following you from room to room is often a quiet form of companionship. When a cat moves silently behind you, appearing without demanding attention, it reflects trust and social bonding more than neediness. In the wild, cats that tolerate closeness do so with individuals they feel safe around. At home, following may simply be about presence and proximity. The cat may not seek interaction, only to stay near. This behavior can fluctuate with mood, time, or household activity. Its inconsistency makes it meaningful. The cat chooses to be there. It is not about food or curiosity alone. It's shared space, quiet companionship, and the comfort of moving through life together. Fighting play mirrors real hunting in miniature. It is not random energy. A cat crouches, observes, advances, makes contact, and releases, repeating these sequences in a familiar rhythm. When two cats play, they take turns in these roles, practicing timing, coordination, and social understanding. Claws often stay sheathed, bites inhibited. Solo play with toys follows the same structure, especially when the toy mimics prey. Each session ends with a capture, then rest. Completing this cycle matters. Interrupting it can leave a cat restless, as if the story never concluded. Successful play does more than burn energy. It satisfies instinctual narratives, miniature hunts performed in safe, deliberate steps. Cats sometimes bring prey as gifts, lessons, or social signals. A catch left at your doorstep may feel alarming, but the intent is rarely cruel. In cat logic, it can serve multiple purposes, sharing a valuable resource, teaching younger or dependent cats, or including companions in success. In social groups, food sharing strengthens bonds. With humans, the behavior translates imperfectly, but the motivation remains social, a quiet echo of feline connection and communal life. The cat is not confused about your abilities. Bringing prey or interacting in other ways reflects a framework where hunting success is meant to be acknowledged. Understanding this transforms the moment. While managing the behavior may be necessary for safety or hygiene, the emotional root is connection, not malice. To the cat, the offering says, "This mattered, and you were part of it."
Outdoor cats navigate higher risks than indoor ones. Cars, disease, predators all pose dangers that instincts alone cannot fully manage. Traffic, fast-moving or unseen, can strike unexpectedly. Contact with other animals or contaminated surfaces increases disease exposure. Territorial rivals or larger predators add another layer of risk. Cats can move safely for years, yet unpredictability remains. Many owners balance stimulation with safety through supervised outdoor time, enclosed gardens, or leash training. The goal is not confinement, but protection, allowing cats to explore while reducing avoidable hazards. Indoor cats thrive when their environments are thoughtfully designed. Climbing spaces offer exercise and observation. Hiding spots provide retreat and security. Daily play sessions mimic hunting, offering both mental and physical engagement. Variety matters too. Rotating toys, adjusting perches, and introducing small challenges keeps curiosity alive without stress. Indoor life need not be limiting. With intention, it becomes a rich, controlled ecosystem where instincts are honored safely. Cats form strong bonds with other cats, not just humans. Bonds develop slowly through shared spaces, predictable routines, and respect for distance. Grooming, napping nearby, or moving together reflects subtle trust. Even cats without strong bonds can coexist peacefully, maintaining social structure. Introducing new cats carefully is essential. Relationships grow over time, never forced. When they form, these bonds provide comfort, stimulation, and companionship that humans alone cannot always supply. Watching bonded cats interact reveals a quieter, softer side of feline life, a world built on tolerance and loyalty. Feral colonies stabilize through trap-neuter-return programs. Population growth can create stress and conflict. Trap-neuter-return interrupts the cycle humanely. Cats are trapped, sterilized, vaccinated, and returned to familiar territory. Aggression, roaming, and excessive vocalizing often decrease. Over time, colony numbers stabilize. Relocation often fails because cats are deeply attached to known spaces. By maintaining territories, caregivers reduce risky scavenging, provide steady food, and allow long-term balance. These programs acknowledge that feral cats belong somewhere and can be managed thoughtfully to reduce suffering for both animals and humans. Responses to enrichment are also biological. Not every cat reacts to catnip. Sensitivity is inherited. Those that do may roll, rub, purr, or play intensely. Others remain indifferent. Kittens often show no reaction until maturity. Silvervine, however, excites some cats who ignore catnip entirely, triggering rolling, rubbing, or bursts of playful energy. These responses highlight the diversity of feline sensory systems. A lack of reaction to one stimulus does not indicate disinterest. Different keys unlock different experiences. Offering alternatives respects this variety, creating safe, stimulating opportunities for every cat. Synthetic pheromones can support cats during stressful transitions. They mimic calming signals naturally produced by cats, helping reduce stress when routines shift, new animals are introduced, or households move. While not sedatives, pheromones reinforce familiarity. Combined with quiet spaces and predictable schedules, they provide subtle support, speaking the cat's sensory language rather than imposing human solutions. Cats are sensitive observers of human emotion. They may not understand words, but they detect tone, posture, and routine changes. A raised voice, hurried steps, or disrupted schedule signals tension. Some cats respond by staying close, others by giving space. These behaviors are built from observation, not empathy in a human sense. They allow cats to navigate human moods, aligning actions with patterns and consistency that keep them safe.
Cats have contributed to science in unexpected ways. They were studied in early space research to understand balance and motion in altered gravity, offering insights into neural adaptation, coordination, and motion sickness. Their visual systems helped map how the brain processes edges, movement, and orientation, influencing modern neuroscience and applications in medicine and AI. Cats, through their abilities, quietly extended human understanding far beyond homes and gardens. Cat hunting behavior shaped human civilization. Their instinctive role in controlling pests stabilized food supplies and limited disease, encouraging humans to welcome cats into shared spaces. Over time, these quiet partnerships shaped settlement patterns, urban life, and agriculture. Instinct, not training, guided these contributions. Night after night, storehouse after storehouse, cats' natural behaviors supported human survival. Many modern breeds arose from natural mutations, not deliberate design. Unique traits like curled tails, coat textures, or color patterns appeared spontaneously, later preserved by human selection. This diversity reveals the flexibility of the feline genome and explains why some traits carry unexpected health considerations. Breed history often begins with observation, not invention, reminding us that cats evolved alongside humans, not under strict control. The Sphinx highlights how form changes function. Remove fur, and the entire relationship between body and environment shifts, creating a cat that thrives on closeness and careful attention. Their appearance can be striking, but their daily needs, warmth, protection from sun, and skin maintenance are practical and physical. Living with the Sphinx teaches the observer how a single trait can transform both behavior and care.
Russian blues appear plush due to an unusually dense double coat. Their fur stands slightly away from the body, creating a velvety texture that is soft, thick, and cool to the touch. The silvery sheen catches light subtly, reflecting the breed's quiet elegance. This coat likely evolved as protection against cold, harsh climates, while the cats themselves tend to be reserved, loyal, and deeply attached to familiar people. Russian blues often favor calm routines and predictability, moving with a measured grace that mirrors their composed temperament. Despite the coat's density, grooming is straightforward, as the fur resists matting and retains its plush quality naturally. Turkish Vans are unique in their love for water. Unlike most cats, they often paddle, bat at dripping taps, or even swim willingly. Their water-resistant coats help them dry quickly, a trait linked to their origins near lakes and rivers. This unusual affinity for water may surprise owners accustomed to the stereotype of the water-averse feline. Living with a Turkish van can turn sinks, tubs, or shallow pools into unexpected playgrounds, reminding us that cat behavior is shaped by both environment and history. Abyssinians resemble ancient art, yet they are modern in origin. Sleek bodies, alert expressions, and large ears make them appear timeless, echoing depictions of cats from centuries past. Their ticked coat pattern gives each hair a banded look, enhancing the impression of wild elegance. Energetic, curious, and highly social, Abyssinians often prefer activity over lounging, exploring spaces with an intensity that contrasts their visual serenity. They are a living bridge between the aesthetic of history and the dynamism of the present. Some cats display heterochromia, having two different colored eyes. This arises from variations in pigment distribution during early development, most commonly in white or predominantly white cats. Despite the striking visual difference, both eyes function normally. Heterochromia draws attention because it suggests uniqueness and individuality, creating an almost magical aura around the cat. Each gaze feels like it tells a separate story, a quiet reminder that small genetic variations can produce profound visual expression. Even today, cats remain both predators and companions in one body. The same cat curled peacefully on a sofa retains instincts honed for stalking prey. The duality is constant: silent hunter, affectionate companion; independent strategist, gentle presence.
They share our homes but remain autonomous, retaining choice and autonomy. That balance, softness paired with alertness, trust paired with independence, defines the cat-human relationship. From the beginning, cats did not abandon their nature to live alongside us. They brought it in full, with every pounce, every quiet watch at the window, every cautious exploration. To live with a cat is to share space with both comfort and edge, companionship and autonomy, instinct and affection. Their presence softens our rooms while sharpening our awareness, a gentle reminder that life can be both calm and alert simultaneously. Their appearance can be striking, but their needs are practical and physical. Warmth, protection from the sun, and skin maintenance are part of daily life. The Sphinx highlights how form changes function. Remove the fur and the entire relationship between body and environment shifts, creating a cat that thrives on closeness and careful attention. Russian blues appear plush due to an unusually dense double coat that stands slightly away from the body, creating a velvety texture. Guard hairs and undercoat are nearly the same length, giving fur that feels thick yet soft with a subtle silvery sheen. This coat likely developed as protection against cold climates. Alongside their appearance, Russian blues are reserved but loyal, forming strong bonds with familiar people. They prefer calm environments and predictable routines. Grooming is relatively simple as the coat resists matting, and when the cat moves, the fur shifts like a soft cloud rather than lying flat, a quiet kind of beauty, built from structure rather than length. Turkish fans are famous for enjoying water more than most cats. Some paddle in shallow pools, bat at dripping taps, or even swim willingly. This unusual preference may connect to their region of origin, where large bodies of water were part of the environment. Their water-resistant coats help them dry quickly. Living with a water-loving cat can surprise owners, turning sinks and bathtubs into playful spaces, challenging the common assumption that all cats dislike water. The Turkish van reminds us that cats are not a single template. Environment and history shape preferences in ways that overturn expectations. Abyssinians resemble ancient art despite their modern origins. Sleek bodies, alert expressions, and large ears give them a timeless appearance, while the ticked coat pattern enhances a wild, elegant look. Energetic, curious, and people-focused, Abyssinians often prefer activity over lounging, exploring with lively engagement. Their elegance feels ancient, but their behavior is modern, bridging the past and present in a single living form. Some cats have heterochromia, with two different colored eyes, often blue paired with green, gold, or amber. This arises from pigment differences during early development. Most commonly seen in white or mostly white cats, both eyes function normally. The visual effect is striking, as if each eye tells a separate story. There is no behavioral difference tied to the trait itself. It is purely visual, but it captures attention, emphasizing individuality even within the same species or litter. Even today, cats remain both predators and companions in one body. The cat curled peacefully on a couch carries the same instincts as one stalking prey in tall grass. The body built for silence, speed, and precision is also capable of deep attachment. Cats share our homes, but retain autonomy and choice. That balance has defined the relationship from the beginning. They did not abandon their nature to join human life, they brought it with them. Every playful pounce, every quiet watchfulness at a window carries that ancient edge. To live with a cat is to share space with both softness and sharpness, trust and independence, predator and companion. Our journey gently winds down through the quiet world of cats, from whisker to tail tip. We've seen them as hunters shaped by patience and shadow, as companions curled into warm corners, and as creatures carrying ancient instincts beneath soft fur. From wild landscapes to city homes, grain stalls to sofas, each detail reveals something small, yet part of a larger story. Cats move at an unhurried pace. They pause, they watch, they choose stillness when the world feels loud. There is something soothing in that way of being, a reminder that not everything needs to rush forward. Some things can simply settle, like a cat easing into sleep, tucking paws beneath its body, breathing slowly until the room feels quieter just by sharing it. If your eyes are feeling heavy now, let your shoulders soften. Let your breathing find its own slow rhythm. Allow thoughts sparked by curiosity to drift gently, like paw prints fading in fresh snow. If you've enjoyed this calm exploration, you're welcome to like, subscribe, or share a quiet thought below. If you're still awake and curious, another gentle journey waits on your screen. But for now, there's nothing left to do. The night can hold the rest. Let the images fade, let the sound soften, and let yourself rest, knowing you can return to wonder another time. Sleep well, and good night.